Hi guys, here with Ghost Dance Collective. Thanks very much for being here, guys.
Hi, Cammy, how's it going?
Hi guys. Yeah, first of all, just to start off, if you can just give us a bit of a background to Ghost Dance Collective.
Right, well, what year was it we formed? 2015?
No, 2013, I think.
2013, well, yeah, sort of embryonic. But
just after that Sudden Death of Stars had come in at the start of the year, and by the end of the year, we'd kind of transitioned out of...
That's right, yeah, because me and Manuel, we've been rocking together since we were knee-high. And yeah, Lynchy joined our band a few years before Ghost Dance Collective started, and then we lost members and we sort of just fell into it, essentially, into the Ghost Dance Collective just by turning up at rehearsals, writing songs, and then, yeah, 2013 odd we started out, and then Alan joined 2016, am I right?
2015, I think.
2015.
He's got a diary entry for it, so you can...
Right, cool, yeah, 2015. And yeah, going from strength to weakness since then. Ask Manuel about how we started. He'll know better than me.
Well, I think you covered it all pretty well. It
was hopeless, man. I don't think 2013 is right for when we started. I think it was 14. It was post-referendum.
Which was 14.
Yeah, that's right.
It was 2014, man. Our whole Genesis story has just gone out to millions of people and it was incorrect.
And you released your Get In and Buy EP sort of during the pandemic. What can you tell us about the EP?
We were finding a new place to record. The previous place we recorded was basically a church in the centre of Edinburgh, and we quite liked it, actually. We got on well with the engineer. There was a really sort of strange but inspiring setup in this balcony of this old church. So you had all the stained glass windows, and they were quite late a lot of the time, so it got dark and very atmospheric. But the guy closed down, so we had to find a new place to record, and we found this guy who ran a recording portable studio as well, called the Owl Shed. We started recording with him like a year before the pandemic, maybe more. And we started off recording a song called Here Comes the Rain, which is on the EP. We recorded it previously at the church, but we kind of felt that it didn't really grasp, like it didn't really get the sense of the song that we got when we were playing it live. It was really energetic and fast, and people really got into it. And the recorded version was a lot lighter and slower somehow. It had its own merits, but it wasn't what we wanted the song to sound like. So we had a chance to start recording it with the Owl Shed, and we went back. He's got a studio down in off Leith Walk, and we just recorded some other stuff. But what we found out along the way was that when he sort of minimized the volume of a lot of the electric instruments, we were left with like maybe an acoustic guitar, bass, and just the vocals, maybe a bit of tambourine, and it totally changed. You should check in the time, Liam. Come on. I've got 20 seconds left of this answer. Yeah, it changed the sound of the song a lot, and it was obviously more acoustic and in some senses a little bit spookier than the songs in their full instrumentation. And we thought when the pandemic happened, obviously we couldn't meet up and practice and we couldn't record. But here we had these sort of versions versions of about 4 songs that we thought we could put out as a kind of fill a bit of time between records. And that's where it came from. Kind of wanted people to remember us. So we stuck out this 4-track EP to capture these weirder versions of the songs that we have on the go. That will, like Here Comes the Rain will be on the 2nd album, and other songs will be on the 3rd.
Yeah, so you mentioned the 2nd album, and you just recently released a new single. What can you tell us about the 2nd album?
I think this one's for Alan, because he played a major role in this.
Well, between the first album and the 2nd album, I got a lot better at bass.
Let's just leave it at that.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, with the exception of Here Comes the Rain, the second album was recorded in that church that Ross mentioned over, I think, 3 or 4 sessions. We went back and we kind of revised some of the tunes and things.
Yeah, we tried to do Here Comes the Rain again.
Tried to remix it, and I think we did another organ part, but yeah, it just didn't fly really. The second album, I don't know what you guys think. There's some parts of it seem lighter than the first album, and some parts of it that seem really heavier than the first album. So we kind of pushed the extremes a little bit further. We still kind of obviously like the 12-string guitar sound and organs and, you know, the harmonizing vocals. We're always kind of into that sort of melodic sound.
The vocals have become much more prominent though, with Alan. Like adding a third harmony essentially on most tracks.
Got better at singing as well.
Better at singing, yeah. Aye.
The thing with recording in the church was we were recording onto tape, and so it would come down to running out of tracks on the tape, and we'd either have to sacrifice a percussion part or sacrifice a vocal harmony or something.
Yeah, it's quite restricted in that way, because there were things we wanted to try that just wasn't possible, and I think there was a general reluctance to do that whole bouncing thing. So we thought we could free up some space on the tape. That we'd done that a few times with the Green Tambourine Band, and I thought it sounded all right. But yeah, there was a reluctance on the engineer's part to do that.
Yeah.
So the second album, sort of like the first album, is kind of as stripped down as you can get, or sorry, no, it's the other way around. It's as expanded as we could get with the sort of limited instrumentation that we got.
Tripped up.
Which is what?
Tripped
Fully
up.
clothed. Fully clothed, man.
Overdressed.
Sometimes. And that's completely changed with the Owl Shed. So the what we found is that if we want to try something, then we can do it. And as long as the guy mixing it can sort of make it, you know, sound good, blend it in well with everything else, then we're free to do what we want, which is
because they're digital, aren't they? Owlshed. It's digital recording. But yeah, big shout out to Doug the Thug as well, who was our engineer at what was the place called?
The Edinburgh recording.
He was a fifth member for
he was the fifth Rolling Stone, and he definitely captured the sound well, I thought anyway, and allowed it to, you know, sound like I'd never heard our stuff sound that good until we went in there. Definitely.
Probably also worth mentioning that we recorded the second album in 2017.
That's true, yeah.
Just getting better with age before we release it.
Yeah, we put it in a cask.
Yeah, fermenting.
Yeah, look at Alan's face light up, man. Fucking hell.
He said drinking from a can.
This ain't cask, mate.
I am actually drinking homebrew here. That's
Nice.
another one of my lockdown things.
Pachin or
no, it's just beer, just an IPA.
oh.
How has lockdown affected you guys as a band?
Not good.
I feel like we got a taster of the sort of long distance thing since I moved further away. So we were already kind of in the habit of. Did we have Zoom meetings and stuff? Maybe we didn't.
I think we had a few.
We had one Skype meeting where Alan and Liam refused to be on camera. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah, that was awkward.
Yeah.
What was I hiding? I don't remember this.
Yeah, it was at Liam's flat.
Yeah, so we did one before, but yeah, I think Murray, because we're in Edinburgh. Well, I am. Ross is in East Lothian and Alan's in West Lothian.
Edinburgh, yeah.
And you two are in London, obviously. So we had that long distance thing anyway. But I mean, musically, the lockdown has been a fucking nightmare, personally. Like in that respect, like we haven't been able to get together or anything. That yawn, Lynchy, are you shocked?
Oh, you said you swore.
Drop the F-bomb, man. That's right. It's going out after 9 o'clock.
Family show.
But on a personal level, man, it's been braw. Like I've written so many songs, I've barely worked. Like, it's been so good. You know,
had a baby.
Had a baby. Yeah, true.
I suppose you'll have had a lot of musicians on who have said the same thing, that it's an absolute drag. It's so bad not being able to play with your bandmates, and there's so much of a song that you can write on your own, but it's when you bring it to the other guys and you start bouncing ideas off each other, and it just enhances what you've already got. Especially with these boys, you can count on them for good vocal ideas, lyric ideas, guitar parts, organ parts, drum parts, percussion.
Tambourine.
So that's been a sort of problem. But as Liam says, you get a chance to focus on your own, maybe practice more.
Alan learned the flute.
Yeah, learn a totally new instrument. So it's not altogether negative.
The biggest thing for me was having no access to the instrument that I play. So I missed that a lot, and I assumed that every rehearsal studio would be closed for obvious reasons. But then I discovered a bit of a hack whereby you could use a rehearsal studio if you were working. So there are a few studios open, and you can go in as a working musician. So to sort of get my fix of drumming, I would go into a studio every now and then and just hit some things for a couple of hours.
Cool. And have you found any difference in your songwriting then through lockdown and stuff like that, or have you just found that you're able to write more?
It's got worse.
Started from a low bar anyway, and we've just slid off a cliff. No, I don't know if I've found any difference in terms of like subject matter, into like not written anything about pandemic life or anything like that. I can't be jeered with this when it finishes, and we're going to be treated to all these fucking Guardian writers talking shit about like what lockdown was and everything. No way. Like, move on.
Point out that the Guardian is far too to the right for Liam.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The Morning Star or nothing. Tell him, Alan.
That's true. I drive to Kirkliston and buy it every day.
He buys my copy from Scotland downstairs just to spite me. Yeah, just to spite me, man. I don't know, Lynchy, have you found any difference?
No, except I suppose that most of the tunes we've been writing, well, I can only speak for myself, but because you're in the house on your own, and like Liam, I've had a baby as well, so you don't want to be plugging in your amps or anything. So maybe one of the things I've noticed is that the style of music would be probably more suited to acoustic instruments, maybe a little bit less intense.
That's until you bring it to the band, though, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's some that are definitely going to sound better with electric instruments, and then there's others maybe that would be more suited to a pared down sound. We'll just have to see. Looking forward to seeing how that works out, though.
I think with Murray's availability as well, it kind of makes sense to have the second repertoire of acoustic stuff that we could perform if required.
What's the plans for the rest of the year?
I've got some emails to send out, I think. Have I not, Taskmaster?
Well, I suppose the next big thing would be the release of the second album, which is coming up pretty soon.
Scheduled for the 1st of May.
Yeah, I didn't want to give the actual date there, Liam, just in case.
The people need to know.
Yeah, fair enough. 1st of May.
Early summer.
It's all good to go, essentially, in terms of the music and the artwork and everything like that. We just need to build up a bit of head of steam. Yeah, got a video out for one of the songs on the record, Wildflowers, up on YouTube's near you. And then for the rest of the year, I suppose it depends on travel, but get back down to London and see the Brothers Pettit and make some music in some dive bar somewhere in London.
Yeah. The last gig we played was in London.
It was.
What was the name of the place again?
Lexington. I was going to say that's one of the big benefits. I think that was the last gig I went to at all. It was one that we played. That was February, wasn't it?
It was well, from my point of view, very, very good gig. Really enjoyed it. Just about made it.
Oh yeah.
Because the whole of the British rail system was flooded.
Yeah.
I remember, because me and Alan went down earlier in that day and you just fields swimming.
Yeah, so I nearly didn't make it, but that was a great night. Really enjoyed it. You get a real buzz when you play in London. We've only played twice, but I felt really good playing gigs in London, and I would love another one.
What's the situation in London? Are lots of venues shutting down and stuff like that, or is it?
I think there's been a few that are shutting down, but I've not actually heard anything specifically recently. But I would imagine there's going to be something. But yeah, I've not heard
I
specifically.
don't know what's going on here, but there was hee-haw anyway in terms of venues. So
yeah, well, I know
Henry Cellar would survive a nuclear bomb, man.
Yeah, it's like the cockroach of venues.
We thought about what's it called, Studio 24, and then that went now a few years ago.
It's been demolished now and everything. Yeah,
for flats and stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Then there's the bar, the brick below, where you're not really allowed to make any noise.
Yeah, exactly. You have to whisper.
Yeah.
The Leaf Depot's been saved, is it not?
or just now. Yeah.
Or just now, right? It's because of those badges you've been wearing, Alan. That's what it was.
I had a T-shirt, but I don't know what
T-shirt.
And a tote bag, probably.
Yeah, I think there is a few venues that were struggling, but there's a music venue trust and stuff like that. We're trying to get various places money. So I think the Lexington was one of the places that got money because they weren't able to open at all, like during the pandemic.
So that one's safe.
Yeah, I think so. That was Ghost Dance Collective, everyone. Thank you very much. And yeah,
Thanks, Cammy.
Thanks, Cammy. Woo!
Thanks, Cammy.